To me, there's only one major downside of not having kids. And no, it has nothing to do with a nursing home or being a lonely cat woman, is that people don't take you seriously. Everyone expects people who don't have kids to be accommodating to their choice to have kids. What happens is we get the brunt of the work when we don't want it, and we don't get twice the pay. And we're just supposed to be understanding, like, well, she went on maternity leave. That was her choice. To have a baby, you better replace her with someone temporarily to take over that position. I'm not saying you have to fire her, but we need someone to fill in. It ain't gonna be me. You want me to take her role with not her pay? That's crazy. People think because you don't have kids, well, you have all this free time and you can do it. Yeah, but the free time is for me. There was the reason why I didn't have children. It was to make sure my free time was for me, not to do your job and my job. I still got a dog at home. He has to use the bathroom. He has to walk. So no, I can't stay 2 extra hours later just so you can go pick up your kid. Go get a babysitter. Go get a date, whatever. Your choice to have a child is not my responsibility, ever.
20 reasons why I want to be child-free forever, part 1. So I made this list yesterday after talking to this really young girl in her early 20s who told me that she's considering not having kids because she didn't really want them, but she wasn't sure that she was making the right decision or what her reasons even were. And so she asked me, because we've known each other for a while, she was like, what are your reasons for not wanting kids? And I actually went home and made this list for her. Number 1, straight off the bat, is that kids are hard to take care of. Number 2, I honestly would not want to have a sick child, like someone who is born sick in some way or another. Number 3, you cannot control who your kid turns out to be, especially if they turn out to be a really bad person. Number 4, I have so much work to do on myself still that I would not be able to really give a kid the attention that they deserve. Number 5 is that I lose my temper very quickly, and I would probably hit my kid at some point if they got me really pissed off, and that would probably traumatize them, which I wouldn't want. Number 6 is that I would not want to live with my heart outside of my body, meaning that because I love them so much, they would be my heart walking around, going places, you know, and worrying me all the time. And I would not be able to live with that. It would give me so much anxiety. Number 7 is that they might probably hate me for something I didn't even know I was doing wrong. Like, it happens to so many of us that resent our parents for something that they probably didn't even think was a big deal, or that they just weren't aware that they were doing. Number 8 is that I don't think that I would honestly be able to survive the loss of a child if something were to happen to my child. Number 9 is that I wouldn't want them to experience the loss of a parent, whether it's their dad or myself, earlier than what's expected, because that can really change the course of a person's life. Number 10 is that I wouldn't want to bring someone into this world who has to figure shit out, who has to figure out what to do, where to work, how to live, and all this shit, because all this shit is stressful, okay? Like, adulthood is stressful as fuck. So why would I want someone else to experience that, like, willingly?
I'm not sharing my 20s with a child. I am not sharing my 20s with a baby. I refuse. Once I become a mom, I'll be a mom for the rest of my life. So why rush it? I am not sharing my 20s with a child. Akibatli, Angizi, Angfuni. I am not sharing my 20s with a child. A child will find me in my 30s. And if you say, oh no, then you'll be too old to give birth, I'll pray the prayer of Hannah and God will grant me a child. But I am not sharing these years of my life with a child. I am not willing to shift and do what and delay because of a child. So I am not sharing my 20s with a child. And these, I had baby fever the whole year. But I just had to hold it in because I am not sharing. Whether I afford it, whether I do not, I am not sharing my 20s with no baby.
Guys, can we normalize not having kids? Like, it's okay to be an aunt. You don't have to be a mom. Not everyone has to be a mom. It's fine.
Someone asked me how I came to the conclusion that I don't want kids. Let me start with this. I'm still young. I'm 27 years old. There's a lot that has contributed to my decision of me still not wanting kids up until now. Whether I get married or not, please don't comment. Or even if you get married, yes. Even if I get married, I still don't want kids. So pull to the side. But then nothing in this world is certain. Like, nothing. I can never be too sure of anything. The only thing I'm sure is that I'm gonna die one day. That's the only thing I'm sure about. And everyone is allowed to change their minds, their ideas. If I say today I don't want kids, 10 years from now I might say I want kids, and that is also enough. So someone asked me, how did I come to that conclusion? A lot. I'm a firstborn. There's a lot that I have experienced with my parents. I have seen how parents neglect their kids, how having a child sometimes can be a burden, can be are fulfilling things to those who want to say that, but then at the same time it can be unfulfilling, tiring, which takes a lot of effort that I'm not willing to undergo at this moment. Maybe 10 years from now I might change my mind, but at this moment in my life today, I know that I don't want kids. That to say, I don't hate kids. I love kids. I adore kids. And people who have kids know me, how I'm around kids. It has nothing to do with that. It's just me not wanting to have my own blood walking around. People say that, oh, how can you make that decision at this moment? I have made it because of the knowledge I have and the experience I have up until today. From tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen. So just be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, why don't you want kids?
I don't know if this is a serious comment or if it is just a troll trying to get attention, but this is crazy to me. And it's crazy to me the comments that I got on my video about being 38 and not wanting kids. It's so interesting to me how that is so hard for some people to comprehend. I know that I don't want kids, like I know that the sky is blue. I am more sure of it every year of my life. People always say, like, oh, but you might change your mind. Every year that passes, the more sure I am that I am making the right decision for myself. And I don't understand why some people care so much whether somebody else procreates or not, especially somebody that they don't know. And the people who say that if you don't have kids, you're missing out on the meaning of life and life's purpose. In this day and age, I believe that you can find purpose through so many different areas. I find purpose through my work that I do in recovery. I find purpose in my career. I find purpose in my relationship with my family. I find purpose in my relationships with my friends. I find purpose in things that I do in my community. I find purpose when I go and travel the world and experience different cultures. I find purpose in my spiritual life. I mean, there's so many ways to be fulfilled without having kids. There is 0% part of me that feels like I want to be responsible for another human life for the rest of my life. I mean, truly, I just don't have that maternal thing. I always say I have it for my dog. It's fulfilled by my dog. I love my dog so much. And I know that dogs aren't people, but the fact that other people care so much and need everybody to hold their same views is just wild to me. If you ever come across a woman who says she doesn't want kids and she's sure about it, that's the end of the discussion, period.
There's some things about being child-free that I don't think the child-free community talks about a lot, or maybe this is just how I feel, but there are some fears that I have in some of the reasons why I do not want to have kids. And I just wanted to give the 3 that I feel like, yeah, I'm really scared. I am really scared, and I'm not a risk taker. I have no intention of changing these fears. These fears will live forever, and for those of you who go down this path, more power to you. First big fear about having kids is that I don't want to give my kids a bad dad. And I'm talking about the entire spectrum of bad dadness. I'm talking about absent, doesn't call them, doesn't even acknowledge their existence, to he's in the house, but he doesn't participate. You know, he's not a good dad. You know what I mean? And like, they tell us to pick better, and the stress of picking better has me picking none, because why is it on me? But I feel like I would get mad at me. I know myself. If I have like the kind of one who like makes the kids wait to pick them up and like they sit at the door waiting for dad to come and he doesn't come, it's not my fault. But I know I'll be mad at me. And I'm so scared. I can't have that happen to me, and the only way to prevent that is to not participate at all. Yeah. Before you start saying, oh my gosh, Shalom, just fix that and you'll be fine. There's part 1 of why I do not want kids. It's pinned. I'm wearing orange. Number 2 is that I cannot risk my kid dying before me. Of course, this is completely out of my control. I have control issues. I'm not sure if you've been able to figure that out, but yeah. Now, for like, I've never had kids. I've never lost a kid, but I feel comfortable saying that the worst pain possible is losing a child. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that wail, that cry when a parent finds out that their child is dead. I never ever want to, don't cry, on a platform, on the internet, get it together. I never want to hear that noise again. It is, anyway, yeah, I can't risk the world taking my child because No, I can't cry like that. And last but not least, I assure you, I can't trust you guys. You people who are out there raising your kids in horrendous ways while I'm putting in all the effort. By the way, I haven't put in any effort, but hypothetically speaking, I've put in a lot of effort to raise my kid well, and they have one interaction with you and you ruin my hard work. Like, I hear things about like your kid was very nice and then they started school and then they got bullied and then they got mean, and then it's like could we all just do better? But anyway, who am I to judge? I don't have kids. But yeah, those are my 3 very, very serious fears about having kids. And it's one of the reasons why I won't have any, because these 3 things are out of my control, kind of ish.
Guys, as Kulumen, wine quarta. I've seen videos of ladies celebrating being child-free, saying, I have no business getting pregnant for a man who did not marry me, showed me a deeper level of commitment, and that pregnancy looks good if there's a ring on the finger. Bese nina niyathinteka nibabhitha ku-comment section indaba. Wine quarta. I mean, shouldn't you express that bitterness kumuntu owakuprekisa ngakushadanga? Why ukwatela umuntu ofuna ukuba stintshe ngewumpi yakhe? And bese nizothrow ama-nonsensical threats, niyiduduza ngazi kwenzakalani, nithi even if ungashada uprega indoda mayifuna ukuhamba izovela ihambe